Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are cracking open the ultimate dossier on arguably the greatest fictional detective in literary history, Sherlock Holmes. Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack his complete story, dive into his uniquely brilliant personality, and look at the friends, enemies, and truly astonishing achievements that made him an absolute legend.
But right off the bat, I want you to chew on this question for a second. How exactly does a fictional character end up inventing modern forensics? Seriously, his methods of observation and deduction were so incredibly revolutionary for the time that a lot of people actually mistook Arthur Conan Doyle's 1887 creation for a real historical figure. It's wild.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Origins of a Consulting Detective.
So, we actually know very little about his childhood. But during his university years, Holmes discovered he had this totally unique talent. He could literally deduce a person's entire background just by looking at tiny, seemingly insignificant details. So instead of joining the regular police force, he just invented an entirely new profession for himself, the world's first consulting detective. We follow him from his literary debut in 1887 all the way through an infamous fake death, right up to his quiet retirement in Sussex, where he kept bees of all things.
Moving right along to Section 2, the analytical mind and skills.
Now, Holmes wasn't just making lucky guesses. He operated on cold, hard logic, and he built this massive, rock-solid foundation of scientific knowledge to back it up. He understood everything from chemistry and anatomy to toxicology and ballistics. And it's exactly this broad expertise that allowed him to spot the tiny clues, things like a specific type of tobacco ash or a faint footprint that literally everyone else completely overlooked.
And here's the thing you have to remember. He wasn't just some quiet violin-playing intellectual sitting in a parlor. Holmes was an absolute beast in combat. He was a highly capable physical threat, an expert in boxing, fencing, and even the martial art Baritsu. Couple that with his completely flawless disguise skills, and you've got a detective capable of infiltrating and surviving in the most dangerous environments imaginable.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Section 3, Trusted Friends and Allies. Because even the greatest minds need a support network, right? Holmes's life completely changed the day he met Dr. John Watson, a recovering military surgeon. The contrast between these two is just striking. Holmes is all cold logic and extreme reserve, while Watson is compassionate, incredibly courageous, and deeply loyal. Watson perfectly balanced out Holmes's icy exterior and, lucky for us, became his essential biographer.
But Watson definitely wasn't his only anchor. You've got Mrs. Hudson, his incredibly, almost endlessly patient Baker Street landlady. There's Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard, who actually evolved from being a total skeptic to one of Holmes's biggest supporters. Oh, and we can't forget his older brother, Mycroft. Sherlock himself admitted that Mycroft's reasoning powers actually exceeded his own, though Mycroft was much lazier and preferred government service over the grit of detective work.
Which brings us to the villains. Section 4, Moriarty and Formidable Enemies.
The Napoleon of crime. That is exactly how Holmes described his greatest, most dangerous enemy, Professor James Moriarty. And Moriarty wasn't just some street-level thug. He was a brilliant mathematician who secretly commanded this vast, incredibly powerful criminal empire that stretched all the way across Europe.
It's a fascinating contrast. While Holmes was out there using his hands-on investigative brilliance to solve crimes, Moriarty was more of a criminal architect. He very rarely got his own hands dirty, preferring to orchestrate these massive, elaborate schemes entirely from the shadows. Their intellects were so perfectly, evenly matched that Moriarty was absolutely the only opponent Holmes ever truly respected.
And this intense rivalry eventually boiled over into a climactic showdown at the Reichenbach Falls in Switzerland. During a desperate physical struggle, both men disappeared over the edge and into the waterfall. And get this, the real-world public was so devastated that people literally wore black armbands in mourning. Years later, Doyle finally gave in and revived him, explaining that Holmes had actually used his Baritsu skills to defeat Moriarty and escape the fall.
Finally, let's look at the big picture. Section 5, Adventures, Achievements, and Legacy.
Over his career, Holmes untangled a mind-blowing variety of complex mysteries. He exposed a deadly scheme involving a trained snake in the speckled band. He tracked down a priceless jewel hidden inside a Christmas goose in the Blue Carbuncle.
And he brilliantly proved that a terrifying supernatural curse was actually just human ingenuity in the Hound of the Baskervilles.
And all of this incredible work brings us to one crucial number: 60. That represents the 4 novels and 56 short stories that Arthur Conan Doyle wrote about the detective. This massive body of work absolutely cemented Holmes's literary footprint across 4 entire decades.
But his legacy goes way, way beyond just literature. Before Holmes came along, real-world detectives honestly relied a lot on just, well, pure luck. Holmes introduced systematic problem-solving to the masses. His fictional use of crime scene analysis, fingerprint examination, and chemical testing actively anticipated and literally helped shape the techniques we use in modern forensic science today.
Which tees up another incredibly important number, 130. Because more than 130 years after his debut, Sherlock Holmes is still a universal symbol of justice. The guy's adventures have been translated into over 60 languages and adapted across hundreds of different media formats. Actually, more actors have portrayed him than almost any other fictional character in human history.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought.
Are you looking closely enough? Because Sherlock Holmes isn't just a character on a page, he's a mindset. His absolute greatest, most timeless lesson to us is that every mystery has an answer if we simply observe carefully, think logically, and absolutely never accept appearances without evidence. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember, always keep your eyes open.